So hot or cold, college football edition. Horvy, it's your first time playing this game with us, sir. So you're going to go first. Alabama ranked behind Notre Dame is absolutely crazy. Hot or cold?
Yeah, I think hot, man. I think it's crazy. I'm an Alabama fan. I am not an Alabama fan. I'm a Notre Dame fan. This season I kind of am an Alabama fan because I have some Ty Simpson to win the Heisman. That was a bad spot against Oklahoma because look how many big games they've played in a row. And the one way that you could beat Alabama is if you get pressure on the quarterback. Ty Simpson is a top 5 quarterback from a clean pocket, but Oklahoma has a really good pass rush, and Bama historically struggles against dual threat quarterbacks. So I figured John Mateer would have some success, but before that, they had to play at home against LSU, on the road against South Carolina. They beat up on Tennessee, who everybody loved at the time. They beat them by 3 scores. On the road against Missouri, at home against Vandy, on the road against Georgia. I would argue they have the best resume in the country, despite the 2 losses. The only loss I really punish them for, Brando, is the loss to Florida State, because that team might not even finish 500. But I still today, if I were to place a bet on anybody to win the SEC, it would be Alabama. I think they're the team to beat. College football has just changed, especially the SEC. There's so much parity. All these teams are going to lose 2 games. So, yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. I mean, Bama, Notre Dame, the 2 biggest games they played this year, they lost. They lost to A&M and they lost Miami. So I also get the argument for Miami, and I definitely get the argument for Bama. So I think you're onto something.
Oh, look, I think it's hot, too. Alabama being ranked ahead of Notre Dame is bat bleeping crazy in my mind because you look at Alabama, you break it down at what the committee looks at a granular level, and it doesn't make any damn sense whatsoever. Strength of record, Alabama number 8, Notre Dame number 12. Football Power Index at ESPN, Alabama number 6. Okay, Notre Dame slightly higher there at number 5, but the strength of schedule to me is a real kicker in this. As Roll Tide is number 4 in the country, Notre Dame number 29. The Fighting Irish's best wins are against USC and at Pittsburgh. But meanwhile, Alabama, they beat this team called Georgia on the road. They also beat Missouri on the road, and they knocked off Tennessee at home. Far and away, Bama's got a better overall resume. It's idiotic that they are ranked behind Notre Dame. And again, I don't have a dog in this race. I'm not a Notre Dame guy, not an Alabama guy. I'm an ILL guy. But Alabama should definitely be ahead of the Fighting Irish. And when it's all said and done, let's see if the committee gets it right. Brandon, what do you got?
Yeah, far be it from me to defend an SEC powerhouse like Alabama. But, 4 top 15 victories. It's really hard to argue with that resume. I would argue that resume with any team in the country. And right. I have to keep it honest, and even when it's Alabama, you have to agree. So, yeah, I think it's crazy, even as a Notre Dame fan. All right, moving on. Brad, an undefeated JMU team being left out of the college football playoff would defeat the purpose of the auto bids. Hot or cold, Brad?
I'm actually cold on that because not all resumes are baked the same, right? Among some of the teams. You got to have a 1-loss team, but they have a stronger overall strength of schedule. They have more impressive wins on the year. And you might say, okay, even though they have that 1L, they have a better overall body of work compared to the undefeated team. These are kind of instances that we always see in the world of college basketball and kind of peeling back the layers of the onion. So I think the college football committee can actually learn a lesson, take a page from the action there on the hardwood and apply that same ideology, that same system of thinking to deciphering whether a team belongs in or out. So I'll say cold. And, again, you look at JMU, their strength of schedule is the one kicker for me. They're number 119 in the country, 119 at strength of schedule. And again, that's a knock based on the conference that they play in. But you look at Navy, you look at some of the other teams that are in this conversation for that last spot, and they may have better resumes just because they played stiffer competition. So, again, cold on JMU and the statement that you just issued.
Yeah, Brando, this was the argument that I always had about expanding the college football playoff, right? And this is when I was even doing local radio, and people would call into my morning show and be like, well, you don't want more football, Horvat? You love college football, more opportunities to bet games. And I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing, man, right? Like Boise State last year. Great story. But what happens when they play Penn State or Notre Dame or one of these schools, Georgia, on a neutral field? Right? Like, yeah, they're a fun story, and then the game's over in the first quarter. We've seen this in the national title game a couple times. One of the easiest bets ever, betting against that TCU team, the Sonny Dykes year one team that got clobbered, in betting against Washington, the Michael Penix team against Michigan. I laid big numbers in both of those games. So here's the thing. I actually think hot, Brando. I'm with you because I want to see JMU in, and I can make the argument for them because I ran the numbers because I did a sports radio hit in Richmond, and they asked me this question. JMU would be a 5.5-point favorite on the open, and they'd probably take money to like 6 against Tulane. So they would actually be a favorite over Tulane. And if you want the good story, I think JMU's the better story if they finish undefeated, because even if it's Tulane, they play Texas Tech. If the season ends today, they're a 22.5-point dog. And are you betting either team against Texas Tech? Texas Tech's winning that game by 50 points. So hot take, but like at the end of the day, I don't really care because whoever it is going to get killed. And that's why I don't think we need all these teams. And I definitely don't want to expand it anymore, man. Like, what's next?
Yeah,
I think
I think eventually you are going to see 16 teams. I really do think that that's kind of the sweet spot, and I do think you're going to get that at some point. My point with the auto bids is this was supposed to get a conference champion a better shot to get into the college football playoff, and whoever wins the American Conference, whether it be Navy, whether it be Tulane, North Texas, whoever wins that, and if they win it with 1 loss, maybe even 2 losses out of there, what's to say that an undefeated JMU Sun Belt champion isn't better than a 1-loss AAC team who's going to do the same thing that a JMU team is going to do? Just the opportunity for this program to get into the college football playoff is a detriment to them, and it's the whole point of the auto bid. So that's why for me, I think that JMU not getting in is a travesty to the auto bid. All right. Here we go, Horvey. Auburn is the most interesting coaching vacancy in college football. Hot or cold?
I'm going to say cold. I had to think about that, man. It's not Penn State for me. Honestly, it might be Florida. I could sell Florida in bringing that program back. The issue for them the last couple seasons has been their schedule. But, yeah, I mean, Auburn's a really good job. Florida's a really good job. I can't wait to see what Lane does. Honestly, if I were a head coach, which I'm not, I would take the LSU job. I think it's the best atmosphere in college football. I think the fans are awesome. But the problem is pressure right away, just like at Alabama. Like, who is going to be – and, the good thing is you're following in the footsteps of Brian Kelly, who wears a size 6 shoe, smallest man ever. But the problem is, like, Coach O, they had the best team ever in college football history. They run the table. They have 1 down year, and Coach O had to go. So pressure right away. So I don't know. I'd take the Florida job because I think there's like a little bit of leeway, and I think it'd be easier to recruit, especially in that pipeline where they play football all year long. So I like the Florida job a little bit better than the Auburn. So I'll say slightly cold.
Brad?
Illinois.
Well, I tell you what, I'm also going to say cold as well because I think the LSU job is the best job in all of college football right now. The only downside to it is Foghorn Leghorn, the governor being a part of the decision making because football is everything in that state. And, I don't really want to mix politics necessarily with pigskin, but they do down there in Louisiana. But yeah, they got a rabid fan base. I've hung out with some LSU fans in their backyard. They love themselves some college football. Kudos to them. They eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff. So they're going to pack the stadium, get 90, 100,000 crammed in there as much as humanly possible. They're, can always recruit. They got a storied history there as well. I kind of agree to a certain extent that Florida could, come back to prominence, and that's a very attractive job. In Gainesville, I would probably have that number 2 on the list. Maybe Penn State at number 3 on the list. I think Auburn is that far down when you think about like SEC powerhouses, I don't think of the Auburn Tigers. Sorry.
Yeah, look, I think you guys both failed this question because I didn't say the best job. I said the most interesting job. And I think that Auburn can actually persuade somebody like a Lane Kiffin more than a Florida or an LSU, mostly LSU because of the situation that they have there with the AD and with the governor and all of that stuff. But even Florida, I think Auburn could entice somebody with their program that it'd be a quicker turnaround than the Florida job would be. That's why I think Auburn could be the most interesting coaching vacancy in college football because I think they could sway somebody from other programs.
Okay, really quick, because I like your next one. Let me defend myself on that, though, and I hate to be like, this is an 8-year-old answer. Auburn has always bored me, even when they had Cam Newton. I don't know what it is, man.
Bingo.
We went there.
Bingo.
We went there. The fans bored me. The uniforms bore me. I can't sell it. If I don't like the unis, I don't want to be a part of the program, right? Like, that's why I like the Florida colors. Yeah, baby. We're bringing it back. We're going to bring back the Rex Grossman era. Everybody but Aaron Hernandez will come back.
Speaking of boring, all of these nerds talking about Miami. Miami should be in over Notre Dame. Miami's they beat Notre Dame. Well, you know what Notre Dame didn't do? They didn't lose to 2 unranked teams. That's what Notre Dame didn't do, Miami. You do want to be ahead of Notre Dame? Don't lose to 2 unranked teams. So here's the next one. The only ACC team that will get into the college football playoff is the ACC champion. Brad, hot or cold?
Hot. I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, you have an argument there for Miami. I understand it. They also lost to Louisville at home. I mean, that's a win that you had to have, and maybe it would be a moot point, and they would be, and regardless. But, I mean, look at the other teams. They're going to be vying for the affections of the college football playoff. It's what, Georgia Tech? Yeah, they got a big game against Georgia left. That would certainly boost a resume if they can knock off their interstate rival, Virginia. That ship has sailed. Louisville, the ship has sailed. SMU, they got to win the ACC to get in. One bid the league. I don't care. Miami stubs their toe. They're out. Go play in a meaningless bowl game and move on.
I honestly wish that we could just wipe out the ACC as a whole this year in the playoff for what Clemson did to me, for what Carson Beck did to me. And I mean, I didn't like SMU coming into the year. Louisville, I could never trust Miller Moss, man. I mean, he's almost got more interceptions than he does touchdown passes. Georgia Tech, I get, was a fun story, but I never trusted them. I would rather have JMU in, but yes, one team, that's it. And that's being nice.
All right, Horvey, this last one's for you. 10 seconds or less, maybe 15.
Okay.
Ty Simpson, even in the loss to Oklahoma, has the most impressive Heisman resume.
I'm going to say Fernando Mendoza, man. That kid got the absolute crap kicked out of him and just kept getting back up and making throw after throw. I got to go Mendoza.
And I applaud you for that because that is the correct answer, and that's why he is -110. Look at the numbers. They're better than Ty Simpson.